This is GIBS FN. I'm Bruce Whitfield. Louis Francois Pau is a professor of technology. He lives in the south of France, but he lectures at Copenhagen and various other institutions as well. He's coming to GIBS in August to give a technology course. Now, for people like myself, Professor, it's a terrifying concept. The language that is used in technology is not a language that any formal language speaker around the world recognizes. Is it as intimidating, really, as it seems, or is it simply how we apply the wonders of technology to our everyday lives now?
It's about sociology. It's about you being able to use a mobile phone as 3 billion users worldwide today. How come that mobiles have achieved a penetration much higher than the fixed phones, much higher than the PCs worldwide? You are using it, you are dependent on it, like the farmer, like the CEO, like the government official. They all are able to use it because it's a simple thing which has a value to you.
20 years ago, I didn't need it. Now it is an indispensable part of my life. Why?
Because it's part of your individuality, of your role in society, in your role in the family, and of course of your contribution to business and to the rest of the society.
Now, it's a very simple device. I mean, here, I'm fishing in my pocket for mine. Here it is. I left it on during the start of this interview to make that point. But here is a mobile device. It flips open. I can send text messages. I can surf the internet. I can do my banking on it. Now, that's all happened in 20 years. What is this thing going to look like, and what's it going to do in 20 years' time? How is that sociologically going to change our society?
It's going to be tailored more to what you want as a private person or a business person, or having the two roles in two different devices or combined into one. And this is a fundamental paradigm shift happening, that instead of having standardized services everyone was forced to use, now people will be put into the position of being able to select what content they want to address, which is dear to their interest or their business function. They will be able to say how much they want to pay for that, and they're going to say also where and how it's going to be delivered to them. So it's a whole mass customization trend which is going to affect the next 20 years.
Does this not dumb down society then? Ultimately, it is, one, the great enabler, but at the same time, if I'm allowed to or able to exclude everything I don't want to see, everything I do not want to hear, or in some societies which may be more restrictive, that society can restrict what I see and hear and consume on this device.
Yes. So the whole issue about the control of information does go beyond this device. It has to do with laws, it has to do with the policies, it has to do with the business models. There are still open questions in that space. What is shaping up, maybe not everywhere on the equal level, is the right to information and the right of the citizen to control what they want to get and what they may be exposed to. It's still an open issue, which is leading to debate in some parts of the world, but the trend is there that the right to information and the empowerment of the citizen in accessing this information is even moving into the constitutions of some countries.
Now, you look in a place like South Africa, where 10 years ago, very few people, proportionally in terms of the population, had cameras. You go around anywhere in South Africa today and people are snapping photographs and are keeping memories on their cell phones, for example. It has changed the way people live. It has given people a status and an access to information and access to connectivity they've never had before. Something like the cell phone, how will it revolutionize Africa, for example, over the next 20 years?
I think that, and you do see examples of this elsewhere already, that by defining proper models and regulations whereby this capability can be given to everyone in an affordable way, you are changing the role of people in the society. You are empowering them to get a job or to get their current business running better than they did. Let me mention a concrete case. In Europe, in France and Spain, I was instrumental in shaping a social tariff which is based on the very simple observation that the unemployed, the people in the street, of which you have growing numbers, unfortunately, across the world, but also in Europe, they were being cut off from the rest of the business opportunities, of the employment opportunities, to learning, just because they could not afford this capability.
Yeah.
So the thing was to move some existing funds which were being collected onto giving a social tariff at €5, about 50 rands per month per user, so that they could get job offers they didn't get before because they were sleeping in the street.
Now, how's that gone down in terms of as a concept? I mean,
It has been accepted.
I'd be a little annoyed. South Africans were a bit more selfish than the Europeans, you see. I'd be a bit annoyed to have to take an extra tariff, but then again, our tariffs are that much higher than in Europe as well.
But this was a €5 tariff. It's about 1/4, 1/5 of what the usual people would be paying. They would be willing to get this, and even the operators, which are the ones who had to comply with this social tariff, were accepting, because in many places, Asia and Europe, not yet US, strangely, saturation exists, that there are more subscribers than people in the countries.
Yeah.
Because people may have different devices. So there are still these fringes of society which you have to help out in being connected.